All right, my fellow investors or real estate enthusiasts, we're going to be going over a few things today, how to run comparables. But just a background, again, this is part of the real estate experiment, simply doing some active learning. So, what I'm learning right now, I'm implementing it. So, I'm hoping you can get some feedback or key takeaways from my process. Definitely do some of your own research as well and follow mentors, etc. Again, this is just part of the experiment, an open experiment that I'm sharing with you. So do your due diligence. There's a lot more detailed, and it's definitely not one way to do things. So with that being said, what are we doing today? So today we're going to be evaluating comps. So comps, as we know, comparables. Again, just a practice so that I understand what it means and you understand as well. Comps are usually a similar property that has sold, and usually you want to go with the last 6 months, and with similar criteria of the home that you might be interested in perhaps remodeling. So again, we're talking about a few things here. So who are we talking about? Usually investors buy homes for cheap. And so when they buy a home for cheap or at a wholesale price, or a house that may be listed or unlisted, they plan to rehab it, put some money into it, and then resell it at what we call an ARV, after repair value. Now, how do you get your after repair value? Based on the comps. Comps is a short form word for comparables, and comparables, as we just discussed, are properties that have the similar criteria. So if it's in this case, we'll be looking at a 2 bedroom home with 1 bathroom, and are within a half a mile radius of that home, and very, very important that the home is in the same school district, still in the same city, because you want to be careful when you do you run your little circumference or your circle or area of where, and I'll show you how to draw that on the map, on the Zillow map. But you want to be careful that you're not crossing over any major boulevards, highways, and such, so that you're staying in the same district, same city, and more or less the same neighborhood. Okay, and then as we said, 6 months, right? So basically it'll look something like this. What I'll do is I'll use a tool like realtor.com, redfin.com, Zillow, we just saw Trillia.com. There's a lot of free public ones out there, and what I'll do is I'll pull it up because right now I don't have access to the MLS. How do you get access to the MLS, which is the multiple listing service? You would connect with a realtor from the state who could potentially give you access to it if you do partner with him or her. You can also have admin access somehow, so through networking. But most realtors have access to the MLS, and that's how they see the listings first. That's also where all this information is pulled from, and you also have information that can be pulled from the local state's tax assessor database. They have this very, you want to do your due diligence. Redfin, Zillow, all that stuff is good, excuse me, but you want to make sure that you're doing your due diligence and that you can actually get a little bit more information on, and make sure that this is right. It's not off by 100 feet, or is it really 1 bath or 1.5? So usually this is fairly accurate. And the power technology these days, you'll see if you check it across the board, very similar. So why don't we just dive right in? So essentially what we're going to do here, we're an investor. Reason why I went on realtor.com is they have this tab, and I clicked a little too early, but it was Atlanta just sold, right? So I'm picking Atlanta and just sold. Why just sold? Because you get a chance to see where people actually have, where the cash is flowing. You'll see one of my other videos where I talked about that. You want to go where the money's going, right? That's a proof of concept in business, right? People are already buying these houses, and you'll get to see where they're buying it, and if they bought it, it's usually a good investment. So in this case, we'll view details. And again, we're trying to figure out, okay, uh, as an investor, I'm buying this house for 15K. How do I come up with an ARV, the after repair value? Well, we'll base it on comps. So then we'll use Zillow. We're going to use Zillow specifically in this case. So what we'll do is we'll grab the address, okay? Because what we want to do, again, and see here, I just recently pulled it up. Okay, excellent. So apparently, and they have a few different numbers, which doesn't really matter. This is actually, Zillow seems to be a little late. This realtor seems to be up to speed, realtor.com, because it actually just sold today. So, with that said, though, the rest of the information is, excuse me, the same. So, all right, what do we have here? So, high level criteria: 2 beds, 1 bathroom, 11,146 square foot home, unit B. Okay, that's fine. So what we're looking at here now is we're trying to figure out, okay, where is this house located, and what are the other homes going for around, that same area. So if you actually go to realtor.com, they'll actually have the comps listed for you at the bottom. But if we want to do our due diligence and be in control of the data that's being presented to us, we'll take it a step further. So you'll see here, this was last, there's other nearby home values, right? You'll see one is 116K, 53,000. I believe the median listing price is 72,000, and so, which kind of more or less tells you that there is a great potential if you're buying a home for 15K to put X amount of money into it for the renovations and then sell it at the ARV. But we got to dive a little deeper, because as you can see, it's not as consistent, right? There's some for 27, some for 49, 56. So we got to do a little bit more research. So that's the intent of this video. So you type in on Zillow. You can use Zillow. Again, it's free. Everybody has access to it. You put in the address. You close it. And one thing I would say, when you close it, just make sure that you're not clicking. What do we got here? Okay, so it already saved my previous search, but you want to make sure that you want to zoom out. And what I'm trying to do is actually look for this property. So let's see if it pops up. So, because it should be in green. That's what I was having trouble with earlier. There it is. So it's right here. So if we zoom right here, it was just here a second ago. I think this is it. Not sure what system. Oh well, Zillow has it for 29K, but we just saw that it sold for 15K, so that's okay. That was a previous. They don't have the most up to date because it just happened today. But what you want to do is zoom out a little bit, and before you zoom out too far, you want to actually update a little bit what you're looking for. So we're looking for recently sold homes. Recently sold homes, you're not going to put the price in, you're just looking for criteria: 2 beds, home type, it's a house, so we'll unclick all that other stuff. And this is the important parts here. So what I did, you guys, if you go here, the reason why I have these two windows open is it'll be easier to flip back and forth. So the square footage is 1,146. Usually you want to pick the square footage that's plus or minus 20%. So what you're doing simply is putting in 1146, so 1146 in your calculator times 0.2, and that equals 229. So what you're going to do is add the 229 to 1146, which gives you 1375 to give you your maximum, so above 20%. And then you're actually going to go 1146 minus the 20%, which is the 229. It will give you 916. So you want to be in the plus or minus 20% range to see the comparables. Nothing's going to be exact. If I put in the exact ones here, it'll be, it'll be too, I could even go 900 and 1400 if I want, more or less similar. But you don't want to get too granular, because then what happens is you're going to eliminate the search. It'll be too defined, which is the same thing here. I'll put any lot. It doesn't matter. It could be 2 bathrooms, but we want to go for more or less this amount of space, right? And with that said, the most important thing is we talked about comps are based on what was sold in the last 6 months. So that's really important. Okay, so we'll apply that. We got 2 results, which is very interesting. Okay, so what we might want to do here is extend that to 12 months. All right, cool. So we get 4 results. And so what we'll do is, and usually you want maybe a little bit more than that, but just to get an idea, these are the ones right here, 53, 17, 126K, 3 beds, 1 bathroom. All right, so these are all our results. And what we'll do, this is a really neat trick that I thought was really cool. Zooming out too much. What I'm trying to do is like pretend like this is a, not pretend, but more or less find something or draw a map that will be more or less the half-mile radius. So as you guys know, the radius is the halfway point of a circle. It doesn't necessarily need to always be a circle, but here if I want to draw on this map, what you'll see is where's our home? Where's the lovely home actually that we have? Let me make sure it's included in this search. We should be here. Nope, that's not it. Where did it go? So the only thing I'm having trouble with is making sure that the house I selected stays highlighted. So let me press enter again and see what happens. We'll close that, see if it stays highlighted. Okay, there it is. So what we'll do is we'll do a map from here. Okay. Did I lose it again? See, I'm playing around with this. So it's here. Keep an eye on this, will you? Alright, 29K. Boom. So it's here. So the comps are around there. So if we're doing a half-mile radius, it'll be, oh, that was a lot more aggressive than I thought it would be. Let's do this. More or less, you guys get the idea. Boom. All right. Now, oh, sorry, we gotta hit apply. Boom. So as you guys see here, half-a-mile radius, more or less. And it's this is actually really good here because you'll see you don't necessarily want to cross over to that side. Again, I don't know this area too well, so I don't know. But what you want to look out for is boulevards, highways, just because anytime you cross over those, the property value might be different. So I think we're in great shape here. And this is more or less how you're able to find comps and see how much they're going for. What I'll do is I'll stop the video right here because you can actually take it to the next level and jump into the quality of these comps to see if they're actually fit the criteria and why they might be priced at 126,000 versus the other one. So basically, if we do our more due diligence, who knows, there could be a school district line that somehow ends here. So we'd have to check, is it the same school district? Okay, check. Is it the same city still? Check. So, but this is more or less on a map what it would look like. Your comps taking into account the boulevards, the highways, the through passes and all that. So there you go. That is part one of leveraging Zillow, which is a free tool to get to the root of, okay, how much can I actually sell this for at the ARV? You know, so that's the after repair value. What is the after repair value of this home? And based on that, you understand how much you can actually spend towards renovations, and what your budget should be, and then again, initially what your offer should be as well, to make sure that you give yourself enough to renovate the home and then sell it for a profit if you choose to. All right, just another log in the experiment book. Again, we'll continue to learn more. I hope you got something out of this one today. Let's build.